show that talks about Tulsa, people making a difference in the Tulsa community, spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about, the hot topics and more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Charles Harper and Molly Wilson.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to World One's Development's News You Can Use. It's our very first show, and we're really excited. I am your hostess with the mostest, Mr. Molly Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, February 12th, 2020, and we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
So on today's show, we have a special guest, Bishop Melvin Cooper. He is the senior pastor of World One for Christ Family Life Ministry and the CEO and president of World One Development and my bishop for 15 years. We're going to talk to him about his journey traveling the road of community development.
We'll also talk about his connection to the community, what is World One Development, and the future for World One Development.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics. We're going to talk about the Jane A. Malone Community Center at Chamberlain Park, Transformation Church's grand opening, Food on the Move, and Valentine's Day. What do women want?
What do men want?
The upcoming Nubian Sweetheart Dinner Dance.
This is news you can use on KBOB 89.9 FM. Stay locked in. We'll be right back.
Okay. A little rough. We good. Got the bugs out. It's live.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Okay. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, when we come back, we're going, y'all, a little dialogue, talk about the show, talk the show up each and every Wednesday. We're here, you know, whatever you for the community, in the community, and then introduce Pastor Cooper.
So we're going to hear me, hear you, myself, and back to you.
One minute. It is lightly. I can't turn it real loud because of the mic. Yeah, that feedback we got. Well, I didn't expect that.
This is News You Can Use on KBOB 89.9 FM.
And we're back. So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things so we can support one another.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Charles Hopper. Hey, kind of got transplanted here from Arkansas, but love me some Tulsa. I'm the executive director of World One Development. My job is financial stability and infrastructure, so of course that means I have to mess with the money. It might not be much money there, but we make it work, right?
Right.
Just being from Arkansas and being Tulsa, I definitely got a love for all of Tulsa, but I primarily work here in North Tulsa with a lot of different projects. And we just are so excited to be here on our first show.
Yes.
For everybody that's tuning in on the radio, everybody that's tuning in on World One Development, our Facebook page live, we are so happy that you are here. You got to always stay tuned in because we're going to be always giving you some news that you can use. So what I'm going to do now and pass this to the other host of this great show, Mr. Molly Wilson. Molly, who are you? Tell them people a little bit.
So I am the executive director of World One Development, the executive director of operations. Didn't get that operations in there. So I'm a Tulsa native, born and raised in North Tulsa. I went to Frederick Douglass Elementary School, which is now the police station at 36th Street North. So you hadn't been around Tulsa for a long time if you know about Frederick Douglass Elementary School. Then I went there from kindergarten to 3rd grade. 4th grade, then I was shipped over to Lindsay Elementary. Go Lindsay Lions, yeah. Which is no longer a school anymore. It's something else. So I went there from 4th grade to 6th grade. Then went to Carver Middle School, from 7th and 8th grade. Then I went to the mighty Booker T. Washington High School, class of '86, up in the house,
Oh, here we go.
Don't hate. So I went to Booker T, graduated in 1986. I've always had a love for the community. I've been here all of my almost 52 years. And so I always wanted to do something that, benefited and helped the community. I started working with World One Development about 5.5 years ago. So I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about what's happening in the community, and that's why I was asked to be one of the creators and the host on this show.
Awesome. Now that right there is what you talk about. Somebody telling you that they are definitely from North Tulsa. Their roots are here in North Tulsa. They're making things happen. I tell you what, I'm even more excited today because we have the man, the myth, the legend. Devonta, guess who's gonna have in here live today? He's in here right now.
Who could that be?
None other than the famous Bishop Melvin L.M.C. Shot D. Fitzgerald Cooper, right here from Tulsa, Tulsa's own.
Yes.
He's the person everybody trying to catch up with. He's the person that everybody wants to be, and we are so excited to have him right here live with us here in the radio station on our very first show. What you think about that?
Yes. So we're going to talk about. So Bishop, tell us a little bit about your background, where you were born, where you went to school, that kind of stuff.
Well, first of all, let me just say I'm very thankful to be with you guys on your first show.
Yes.
Brother Charles and my lady. Praise God.
Hey.
I'm very excited. Thank you guys for having me on your first show. But let me just share with you briefly a little bit about my history. I grew up here in North Tulsa. It was a difficult time in my life. I was molested as a young boy. I was caught up in the pornography. I was doing a lot of stealing and doing a whole lot of stuff that was not good for me.
Yeah.
A very whole host of ungodly and unhealthy things.
Right, not the bishop.
Yeah, it was me, the bishop. and to make things a little more difficult, one night, of course, we lived in Comanche apartments. And I remember one night me and a little girlfriend, that I had. We were
a girlfriend?
Yeah, I had a
Get out
girlfriend.
here, Bishop.
I was doing some devious stuff back then. Thank God for God.
For deliverance, huh?
Yes, but one night we were crossing the street. Tragically, we were hit by a car, both of us, and tragically she was killed.
Wow.
And, so it was a very, very difficult time, and I was in the hospital for about 3 or 6 months. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old at that time.
Wow.
But God had a whole different plan for my life. One day, we had moved from Comanche Projects apartments, and we moved into a neighborhood. During that time, we moved around. And so we were in the neighborhood, and one morning, this church had a bus ministry. And that bus ministry came through our neighborhood, knocking on doors, asking mothers or parents if their kids could go to Sunday school. So they knocked on our door, you know. I knew about this bus ministry because I knew they had some cookies and Kool-Aid.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I always wanted to
Kool-Aid
go,
gotcha.
but thank God the people came knocking on our door and asked our parents if we could go to Sunday school. We went to Sunday school, and even though I thought I was going mainly just to get those cookies and that Kool-Aid, you know, but God had something else in store for me. And the rest is history. I gave my life to the Lord at 10 years old, went into the ministry at 13, and I began to minister all around North Tulsa. Some of the old timers who are dead now remember the young boy that used to go all over North Tulsa into the projects. We had a North Ridge Theater at the time. I used to go into the neighborhoods. I used to go into the tent meetings and all of that stuff, ministering the gospel. So God had a plan for my life, and the rest is history. I've been ministering since 13. And so I've always had a love for our community, and a passion for our community. I remember when we had a little bit of everything in North Tulsa. You didn't ever have to go outside of North Tulsa. You had the Otascos, you had the Safeways, you had the theaters, you had the grocery stores, you had all of that.
Right.
And you know, but that's a whole other story. You know, we talk about the economic impact that we were having at that time versus what we have today.
Right.
And so that, you know, I can talk about that, but that's a whole lot. There's a number of factors that has caused that. But as a whole, we've lost tremendous economic dollars in North Tulsa over the years that has impacted our community today. So I've always had a love and a passion for community development, and that's where I am today.
So Bishop, I'm gonna ask you this. So what school did you go to?
Well, you know, as I said, I moved around. You know, I started out during, high school, junior high school. I was at Monroe Elementary, you know, William Penn Elementary.
Okay.
I went to McLean High School.
Anyway.
Yes. Then from McLean to Edison, I was just, wanting to chase the young girls. You know, I was trying to go everywhere. So from McLean to Edison, then I ended up graduating at Rogers High School. So I've got a little bit of everything in me.
Okay, all right. Well,
I can't say like you, Booker T. Washington, just one place, but I got a piece of everything.
Right.
Yeah. And I say, Bishop, you know what? That's a deep story. That's a lot.
Yeah.
This shows you were overcoming a lot of adversity at a very early age, because the things you talked about could be traumatizing, traumatic, and it just sounds like some kind of way you was able to navigate through that. So my question is, how do you navigate through a lot of things like that that could probably hinder so many, and they would not be able to make it? But somewhere along the line, you decided to start a ministry. What made you decide? Got all this stuff going on. You know what? I'm gonna start a ministry. What took place with that?
You know, what really made a difference in my life, as a young boy, and coming up and getting to a certain age, I look back and there were times when I was very envious, very angry, very bitter, because I felt like some of the things that I went through as a young boy, the molestation and some of the things that I was caught up in, and some things that I could not do that other young people and children that I saw were doing, having the freedom to go in the sports and all the things that I love, and I was not able to do that because I had to work and bring money home, and so I had a very unstable house, But what really made a difference in my life was the relationship at an early age with the Lord. And I tell people all the time, that is what really made a difference. So many people say they've gone through this and they've gone through that, but what has really helped me was my genuine relationship with God, and some of the things I encountered as a young boy that has helped me to get past those hurts and those traumas and those difficulties early on in my life. And I contribute that to my relationship with the Lord.
Yes. So what was your original church, your very first church that you started?
Well, the church that I started was in South Tulsa.
Okay.
I always knew that I would come north, but we started in South Tulsa. We were there for 7 years. The number 7 is the number of completion and rest. So I think when that ended, number 8 is a new beginning. So we were able to move at the right time. And so we moved to North Tulsa. My heart was always in North Tulsa, because when I first left North Tulsa, I was at a church that I didn't want to leave, but God called me, and I went south so that I wouldn't split the church or cause any problems or anything like that. So we were in South for 7 years and eventually came back north.
And so you moved where when you came back north?
36th Street North.
All right.
That's where that is now the event center. We always have a plan to do community development and all of that, but it started out as our church, and then we eventually moved from there to the church we are now, 2121 North Harvard.
And you were at the 36th Street location for how long?
I think we were there about 9 years, 8 to 9 years. I'm not quite sure, but I think we were about 8 to 9 years there, because we moved there 2001.
Right.
I think we've been gone from there now about 6 years.
I've heard many different things about that actual facility, that it used to be all this different stuff in the community. What was it before it was a church?
Well, it goes back. Remember, I was sharing with you one night that I got hit by a car crossing the street. We were crossing the street going over to Piggly Wiggly, and I know people will probably remember Piggly Wiggly.
That was before my time.
Yes, but the building that we're in now used to be old warehouse market.
Yes,
and
I remember that.
Grocery store for years, and I think after that, I think it was Skate Town, some other things.
I remember that.
There was even some boxing that they had at the place as well.
Don't remember that.
So there were several things the building was used for. We got it. My God, it took a miracle to renovate that building, because I thought, my God, there's no way we're going to be able to do it, but God blessed us to be able to do it.
Right. So, Bishop, all of the things that you've done in the community led you, or the things that happened to you, led you to want to do community development. And we're going to talk about that in our second half a little bit more. But what was your motivation? Just kind of, can you hit on that just quickly before we go to break?
Well, because we had economic development. We had all of the things that North Tulsans enjoyed at that time that is no longer here, and
Right.
my heart has been hurt. And so there's a passion,
Right.
there's a desire based on the history and based on the knowledge and things that I went through. So
Right.
I'll share that with you.
Yeah,
Well,
when we come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been listening to Bishop Melvin Cooper on World One Development's News You Can Use. So, Charles, we're gonna wrap up this segment.
I tell you what, man, that was some deep stuff, Bishop. You got into some real stuff, some real issues, and that's what it's about on this show that we're gonna have every week on Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. So I tell you what, stay locked in. We coming right back. We're gonna get a little farther into Bishop Melvin Cooper, senior pastor at World One for Christ Family Life Ministry. We're gonna get into this development thing. Y'all stay locked in.
KBOB, the home of the Bobby Eaton Show, the Juice Radio Show, and Two Dogs Radio Show.
That was good. Charles, you supposed to take her into the break. You were supposed to take her into the break.
I know. Wait, no, you. I'm like,
I was watching.
10 minutes.
I was letting her finish the.
Because you know the ticket say you're gonna start playing a song. You got 2 or 3 minutes. I'm looking at the time.
Yeah, it's all good.
I heard a little song, but I didn't know.
It came in loud.
You did good. Just kept talking.
You just
When the
kept
song
talking,
come
yeah.
in, we're not supposed to stop talking right at that moment.
When the music, we
just
kinda keep going.
Because we got a minute or two. We're supposed to be wrapping up our conversation.
It is an umbrella organization for local businesses, hosting a youth festival, BWS.
We covers around.
Grassroots economic development fund known as BWS The Power
You
Group.
say this
For
segment
more
is
information
sponsored by.
about the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce or to donate to the Power Group, visit bwschamber.com.
Hey, Joe,
Yes,
when we say this segment is sponsored by, are you gonna do that?
I can, but we
Or we're gonna skip it?
we can skip it today.
Edgewood Fitness Center?
You want to do it?
I can.
No, I was asking you. Do you have that the other paper that we was going off of, the original? Do you have a copy of it, Charles?
No, I left them on mine.
So this is that commercial break. We come back.
Did you give him this? Oh, he got this.
He got
Because I thought you just took all that and transposed it all.
I did.
So it should be here. What is it? They used to do all that stuff, man.
Oh, he just, I probably just.
Oh, so your format of some stuff is what you had on there.
Hi, I'm Denise.
So you say this segment is special was sponsored by and I go right in. Because every time you come on break, you're supposed to say this is
There's no job too big or too small and no location too far. Let us be your one-stop shop. We're located at
before you went out, right? So then we need to come back this one today.
Yeah.
We can't do this.
Our phone number is 918.
Bellyville drop. Some hand clapping. KBOB 89.9.
You clap.
The hand clapping is bringing us back. And you got about 35 seconds.
35 seconds. So Bishop, what we'll do is we'll
I might as well drop a little something on your home. Belly down.
The second, and what was the second part?
The second project, what that was, and now I'm gonna say, so that's going
Or I
to
can do it now back. News you can use.
okay, then I'm doing the KBOB.
And now back to more of news you can use on 89.9 KBOB.
All right, we're back, and we're still live with none other than Bishop Melvin Cooper, Senior Pastor of World One for Christ Family Life Ministry. I hope you guys didn't miss that first segment. We got into some real stuff. You got a chance to get a little bit into his life, how it was as a kid growing up, and I can tell you what, it was very inspiring. It was encouraging, and it kind of let us know that you can overcome and you can become an asset to your community, and you can empower others and continue to move forward. So, of course, we're very excited about that. But now, it's time to get into some of this development stuff, because we always hear that Bishop Melvin Cooper is doing something in the community. Right, Damali?
That's right. He's the guru of community development, is what I heard. I'm just saying.
That's what I said. So what we want to do, Bishop, okay, this thing goes back to some time. So let the audience know a little bit about what was the first project that was on your heart that God gave you to do in the North Tulsa community?
Well, you know, the first project was fitting back in acronyms FBI. You know, I always thought about the real FBI. They had agents, and agents work with people. And
Right.
so I started this program, Fitting Back In, which is a prison reentry program. It was designed to help people that are coming out of prison, to help them become an asset, you know, versus a liability to our community.
Right.
In fact, my brother was in prison for 30 plus years. He just got out probably about, I think, about 3 years now.
Right.
And so I've always had a desire to help those, both women and men that are coming out of prison, and make the transition back into society by becoming a productive citizen of our society. And so, so that led me to starting fitting back in. We started in, I believe, February of 2006. We've had a tremendous impact on our community. I believe we've graduated over 1,500 people through our program. It's a 10-week program. And they go through the process of trying to help them with jobs and drugs and different things, and help and all of that good stuff. You know, we've had some difficult times with fitting back in, as far as it seems like everybody's coming to us, you know, and it costs a lot, you know, to continue to keep that thing going. So it hasn't been easy, but I'm thankful it's still in existence, and it's still going forward, and we're still helping a tremendous lot of people. Miss Broom, which is our administrator over there, I think she's doing an awesome job.
Shout out, Miss Broom.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Miss Broom. He been your shot. But Bishop, what about was Fitting Back In was this just a local project, a local idea? I mean, what's the reach of Fitting Back In? Is this just something in Tulsa, or does it expand outside of Tulsa in other cities, other states?
Well, it started out locally, and then eventually it just took off. I mean, man, at one time we had, you know, not only offices here in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, but we expanded to, we were in Denver, Colorado, we were in California, and we had a grant that through AmeriCorps, and we had over 100 people that were working through our Fitting Back In, helping
That's community
people
impact.
making the transition. So we've been in existence, like I said, since 2006, and we're still working it, you know, and you know, we still need funding to continue to do what we're doing, but we're excited about so many people that we've been able to help. So if people don't know anything about Fitting Back In, we're open every day except for Friday, open 9 o'clock. You know, people that are coming out of prison, people even working with people that are coming out of jail. So, I mean, I got a call the other day from, I think my good friend Lester Shaw was asking me and sharing with me about someone who needed some help, who was just coming out of jail. So we've been able to help a lot of people.
You know, and it's funny, Bishop, because I, you know, of course, I'm born and raised here, so I run into people all the time, and they talk about, you know, having had people actually graduate through Fitting Back In,
Yes.
you know, and I've heard some of the stories of how people are doing really, really well because they actually participated in that program.
Yes.
So it's just kind of rewarding to know that, you know, you're a part of something that really is benefiting the community
Yes.
and making a difference. Charles, you got another question?
Yeah, Bishop, my thought is that it's weird that Oklahoma is ranked #1 in the incarceration of women,
Yes.
and I think it's like #3 or #4, with incarcerating men.
Yes.
And I think that's tough with this probably being a Bible Belt.
Yes.
So what do you kind of think about that? We are #1 in the world incarcerating women.
I believe one of the reasons because a lot of the women that are incarcerated are due to writing bad checks and due to some of the drugs and different things, and sad that Oklahoma is #1 when it comes to women incarcerated in Oklahoma, and men following third in the country in Oklahoma. It's kind of sad that has happened. There's a number of factors as a result of that, and so what we're trying to do is prevent recidivism, people from going back in, and so we've come up with a number of programs to help that. So that's what we're doing now.
Well, I'll just say that's exciting to know that you got the statistics sitting out here that makes you feel kind of down about what is going on in our city, what's going on in our state. But I know it's appreciated by many that you have a pastor come along to say, I want to impact this community by doing something to help those people transitioning out of prison. And what's better than fitting back in? You know what I mean? You're coming back home, and then you have a bishop here that has a program to help you fit back in, and it has a high success rate. So I just want to say, wow, that's encouraging. We could stop the show and go home, but we got other stuff to talk about, right, Damali? So you jump in here, because I hear you do some other stuff. What else is going on?
So what was your second project?
Well, the second project that I'm very excited about is called Eduret. Comes from two words, education, recreation. And, we about 5-6 years ago, we purchased the old, oh my God, I forgot the name of the school.
Wiley Post.
Wiley Post school, and we got that whole entire block. And I tell you, it's been fun. It's been exciting to see what God has done over a 6-year period, to see that transformation of that facility, and then to see how many people, hundreds of people, young people, families that have been blessed coming through the Eduret, Eduret Youth and Family Fund Center. We named it that because our focus was mainly on education and then recreation. We wanted to be able to bless the young people in the community, and that thing has just really blossomed. In fact, it's blossomed more than I even fathomed. So
I know, right?
And so I'm telling you, man, it's having a great impact in our whole entire block, and we're planning on doing some exciting things with the Eduret over the next few years. So we want everybody to, pay attention, amen. Focus on what's going on, because it's about to blow your mind.
I love
Hey,
it.
Bishop, I think that is phenomenal, #1. #2, I'm just going to ask, is this something like Eduret? You said 53,000 square feet, 15 acres of land. It's an entire block.
Yeah.
So is that a solo act? Do you have to engage partnerships? Who helps you to get these things done? Is it anybody that you work with that kind of helps bring these things into fruition?
You guys.
Wow.
I didn't know. I didn't see that coming.
They're part of the team, along with other, I tell people you can't be an island to yourself. I was sharing with a group of pastors how that you can't be an island to yourself. There has to be the power of collaboration and working together. And I'm thankful that over the years we've been able to work with and establish partners, and we've been able to get grants to help us with the facility. We've been able to do a number of things. So I often mention factors. These are the things that people see now. They say, how did you do it? What did you, well, it's all about working together. And I want to stress that in North Tulsa. We've got to work together.
Right. We've got to work together. So, Bishop, tell me about your brother from another mother that actually is one of the partners that works with us.
My twin brother.
Oh, yeah.
Not only of a different mother, but a different color.
Right.
Yes. That's my good friend, Brother Tom.
Yes.
From Asbury Church. We both graduated from the same, but he's 10 years older. But we got his birthday is in the same month, and God has just connected us. I think it's important to understand it's just not a black thing. It has to be a partnership. Right. Across all racial lines, white, black. I think we all have to come together We can't just be isolated to ourselves. We've got to be together. And so God has blessed us, you know, to have a great partnership with Tom and Asbury Church, and they've been a great blessing in helping us to get EduRec to where it is now through volunteers. A lot of times people think money, but no, it's volunteerism. So when people come together, you can get a whole lot of work done. So we've been doing month after month after month through what we call Second Saturday,
Right.
and working together in unity and in one accord. And because of that, we've been able to establish the EduRec in such a great way. We're excited about that.
Wow, I said that right there. I could stop at fitting back in and the EduRec, but I tell you what, we still right here. We got to take it to break. Y'all stay locked in. KBOB FM 89.9. Stay locked in. We'll be back.
Charles said stretch it.
Oh, no, you get that communication. You get that.
I know what your communication is. It should be like
I thought
break
you said
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I said do 10 minutes. 5 minutes, 1 minute, but
I didn't know what that means.
you didn't either. I'm like, what that mean?
I don't know what that
You
means.
gotta say that before the show starts. This means stretch. When I
This
do
means
I do-
break. It's all good.
I know this means break, but I'm like, is that it?
Huh?
Okay, so
We
we'll
good.
come back again.
So we'll come back.
Cause you didn't even promote Hump Day Hot Talk.
Well, we can come back in and do 36. I mean, just do, because we didn't talk about that yet.
This segment of the show is sponsored by 36th Street North. What do you wanted to say though?
Phone number is 918.
No, I'm saying we need to talk about 36th
Our
Street.
email is
Instead of next
Yeah,
year.
That was
that's
next.
what I was gonna tell. That's what I was thinking when I saw that. I'm like, is that?
Yeah. So we'll come back to 36.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you, Kim.
I might as well drop a little something on your hold
When we come back, so I can just say something about hot topics. How do we want to, since we here, what's the best way to transition?
Well, I would say we'll come back to him and do 5 more minutes on here because it's 1:35. It's 1:35. And the hot topics is
Let's come back and talk about the event center.
Coming pretty good, huh?
and then we'll transition into the hot topics. I hit the drop. And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics.
Yeah, so you say coming up next Sunday, huh?
Qualify for that house or apartment and you're paying high interest rates, along with paying high car insurance.
Bishop, when we come back in, we're gonna talk about the event center a little bit for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll transition out again into the. So that's what we'll do.
And when we're streaming live, they won't be able, they'll only be able to hear what goes out over the air from now on. Basically.
And you recording this?
Yeah, it's recorded, the whole show.
Can we get a copy of that?
Of course.
Yeah, because Sis Cooper, she wants to get a copy of it so bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we at right now?
So when you come back, so you're gonna come back and say, we're back.
I gotta just come back. We back on TV. We're gonna get we still allowed.
Yeah, we can do that. We're back.
Searching for ways to.
Got a drop and hand clap.
We're back, and then we're gonna get
Black Rock.
Bishop Cooper still live with us in there, and then we'll ask
And now,
about.
and so I'll ask about
We'll
that.
ask
We're gonna wrap up with Bishop Cooper, but he's gonna stick around. But Bishop Cooper is okay if you stick around, and we got some Hump Day Hot Topics we'd like to get your
And then I'll say coming up next.
feedback, opinion on.
Hot topics. Stay tuned to where one of those news you can use on KBOB. Bishop's gonna stay with us. Y'all stay locked in.
And then I won't play. I'll just play a short song. Okay.
KBOB,
Coming back after this.
After this,
the Juice Radio Show, and Two Dogs Radio.
20 seconds.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Stay connected and call us now at 646-716-5525 and press 1 to go live.
Hey, this is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. We back live. Give us a little hand. Guess who we got? We couldn't let him go. He tried to leave. We told him come back. Get back in here. We want to talk a little bit more. We still live in the studio with none other than Senior Pastor of World One for Christ Coming Life Ministry, Bishop Melvin Cooper. And Devontae, what you think? Is Bishop Cooper doing a pretty good job? What you
Bishop
think?
Cooper is doing a really good job, and he's informed the community about all, the things that are available to us here for us to utilize. So, Bishop, there is one more project that you worked on that's really recent. Tell the community what that is.
Well, the latest project is the 36th Street North Event Center, and that has always been a part of the vision, overall vision.
Right.
Of course, our church was there for a number of years, and then after that, the Lord blessed me to be able to put into a movement the 36th Street North Event Center, and it was birthed out of the idea that I wanted, there was really no place that I felt that was really a place where families could come and weddings and have a great time and able to get it at a good price,
Right.
Because the one that I went to was very expensive, very high, and I didn't see any really quality kind of an event center in North Tulsa.
Right.
So 36th Street was birthed, and it has been a tremendous blessing to the community, not just to the community, but city officials. We've had a number of things there at no cost. We can't do that with everybody,
Right.
but our prices are right. It's a family affair. We just want you to come out and take a look. You're going to find that it's very extravagant, very nice, very clean, professional, and we believe that it can be a blessing to your family. So we're excited that we have one like 36th Street North Event Center in North Tulsa.
And so we still do a lot of community things. So you hinted on that. But one of the things I think that the community should know about is the Expungement Expo. That's huge. And that can you share a little bit about that and about that event?
I mean that is mind blowing. I mean, we're working with our councilwoman. We're dealing with we have knowledge. This thing is set up like a cart.
Yes.
I mean, the expungement to work with in partnership with that to help people, since we have a Fitting Back in Prison Reentry program, and we've been helping a lot of people. But now we have a resource and another platform to be able to help young men and young women get their record expunged. And that's mind blowing. Because a lot of people haven't been able to really get jobs and and all of these things because they have certain things on their record.
Right, that
and that prevents them from getting a good job, And so to partner with Councilwoman Vanessa and others and to make this happen, this is mind blowing. We've got I don't know how many people that were there the last one. I think this is our second one.
Well, we had that was our third actually.
Okay,
so that was our third.
One.
Yeah.
And man, the first one, to see people standing around the building.
I know, right?
To see so many people, and the place is just packed. To see how many people that needed help, and to know that we are helping people be able to change their lives. I heard one lady had just tears in her eyes because she had this on her record for so long and was able to get the expungement. So it's a blessing, man. This is what community development is all about. This is what World One Development is all about, and what my vision and desire has always been. This is the reason I, not just growing up in North Tulsa, but having a passion for North Tulsa to see change, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, Bishop. So what I'll say is, okay, you a bishop, number one, so you got a nice church, okay? Number two, you got a prison entry program helping thousands. You got EduRec, Youth and Family Fund Center, that's huge. You got this 36th Street North Event Center, and all these things going on. So a few people online are saying, how much money does this bishop have? He is buying up everything in North Tulsa. So we don't want it to be a myth out there. So we want to ask this question. Do you have $1 million in your trunk and $1 million in the bank and just a tree behind your house to grow money? What is it to pull this off? Is that fact, or is it a myth that you have millions of dollars?
Well, I'm still looking for it. But I will say it is definitely a myth. It's a myth. Sometimes people have a tendency to think because they see elegant, they see nice things, they think it's a lot of money. But what they fail to recognize is it takes a lot of pieces of the puzzle to get the whole picture. You can only see so much of the picture. You see bits and pieces of it, and then you get all the pieces of the puzzle, then you can see the whole picture. And what I'm trying to say is that it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. And what I call it is called favor.
All
And I
right
think
now.
when
Favor.
it's favor. When you work together, when you can work together, not be divided,
Right.
and you can come together and work together in unity and one accord, everybody the same mind, you'd be surprised how much you can get accomplished. And so what people think is a lot of money, what they don't understand, it's all about effort and working together and being able to bring those pieces of the puzzle together so you can present the whole picture. And when you see the whole picture looks like a whole lot of money.
Oh my goodness, hey, y'all, hold it right there. I say y'all stay with us, Coming up next, we got the Hump Day Hot Topics, so stay tuned to World One Development news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9. Stay locked in.
Charles, you on the gas.
Working through. Bishop, that's good.
Yeah, that was good stuff. That was good stuff.
So we're not going to take a break. We're just going to go right into it, okay?
Okay, so
You ready?
I don't
Hold
know
on,
if for that.
don't say we did.
Do I need to give you for the half thing?
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
Yeah. We're going to get, it's the Hump Day Hot
I'm gonna
Topics.
segue back in there, and then I'll let you, last Saturday we attended, and we'll just have a little dialogue on that.
You're listening to World One Development's news you can use on KBOB 89.9 FM. And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topic.
Guess what day it is? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day. Honey, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico?
I love that. I totally love that.
I'm with it.
I love that. So, last Saturday, we attended the reopening of Chamberlain Park and the renaming of the community center to the Jane A. Malone Community Center at Chamberlain Park. Bishop, we're going to ask you to stick around. I should have asked you that before. You know, we don't want to just ignore you. Thank you for the interview, by the way.
Thank you
But we attended that interview, and so what Charles and I want to just talk about a little bit. It's just what that was like, you know, how the community came together. What do you think about that, Charles?
You know what? Shout out to Rodica. Shout out to Ashley that worked with Tulsa Parks. They talked with us about 30 days ago, and they said, hey, we want to do something great. Can we partner on this? And we was like, sure. That's what we do. So we sat down and we talked. And we just collaborated together, we worked together, and we put us a game plan together. And I'll tell you, Saturday, when you got out there, there had to be at least 300 people there. I mean, the mayor was there, Vanessa was there, Pastor Turner was there, and
Everybody was there.
well, I think it's J.A. Malone, and she seemed so happy.
She was so happy when she saw her name up on the side of the building, Bishop. I was like, oh my God, she gonna have a heart attack here because she was just so excited, But that's something. One of the things that that was said in the conversation was typically, and I think the mayor was the one who said this, that typically those types of things happen when a person dies,
Yes.
And so for her to actually be alive and to actually see this with her family, her grandchildren, that was a really big deal. That was huge. We had first responders out. Man, I mean, we just had Ramal was on the ones and the twos. I mean, we just had all kinds of people. So the next topic is the grand opening of Transformation Church. Bishop, you were there, so what do you think about that?
Ooh, I tell you, it was awesome. It was an
Man.
It was an explosion of power. All those youth and everybody coming together. I mean, they were jumping, so I got in on the jump too. I had to get in
Until your knees started hurting, huh?
Well, I tell you, it was such a blessing.
Yeah.
God is really blessing Pastor Todd and what he is doing.
Right.
I think we need to pray more for him because of the work that he's doing, but he's doing an awesome job.
I think we need to pray for him anyway, Bishop, because I saw on Facebook that the city is kind of upset and saying that they're making too much noise. There's too much noise coming from the facility.
Yes.
And so I'm like, what is that all about? We're praising God. What's going on?
You know what? I saw that as well. I mean, this is hot topics. This Hump Day Hot Topics. This is what we get into. But I saw that, and my thought was, okay, it was Spirit Event Center. I mean, and last time I checked, the 66ers used to play there.
Yeah.
They
had
concerts there,
Yeah.
MMA fights there. So I just figured the noise level will be about the same. I mean, I don't live there, so my cups don't shake across my table. So I definitely can't say that's not what's happening.
Sources say that the complaints have been coming since the place has been open, but a lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
Something about the building in the city ordinance, it doesn't hold the sound well.
Wow.
But nobody knows until this story hit
Exactly.
that there's a problem with sound.
Yes.
Right. But that, you know what? We're just gonna pray for them. You know, because I mean, you know, they're doing great work over there.
Awesome work. I can't say enough. They're doing an awesome job.
What I can say is, I definitely experienced Transformation Nation.
Man,
I mean, I've never seen that many people in one spot.
Right?
Fire
The
up
nation
for the
stood
Lord.
up. Yes,
And
that was awesome.
And I looked and I attended, and I mean, I felt good that with so much negativity and so much separation in this world right now,
Right.
whether you look at in any arena, it's like everybody want to be divided. But at Transformation Nation, all colors, creed, everybody was there, Bishop.
Yeah, the young man is doing an awesome job and growing, and his ministry is global. You know, some people might not like what he went. They moved from north to south, but they're looking at it from a global standpoint. And they're doing some things, and let us not forget that the blessings of other ministries here in North Tulsa that they gave back to and are continuing to give.
Yes.
And so that's exciting. I mean, some got, I heard 50,000, some got 20,000. We were blessed with 20,000, just to be able to do what we do. And so we thank God for that partnership. Giving back. Yes.
And
that's what he's doing.
And I must admit, when I got there, I had to park in the little parking garage. I had to, you know, some people was up on the 4th floor and the 5th floor, but the thing about that, walking up to the building, I didn't really hear a lot of anything going up. So I don't know, but you know, if you feel that vibration of the bass, then you know, I don't really know.
Valentine's Day, it's coming up on Friday. So let's talk about some gift ideas. You know, what do men want?
You know what? I tell you what. For me, I'm always hungry, and you know that's just how I roll. So a candle and some chicken, a candle and some chicken, and some mashed potatoes and a piece of bread, and get Brother Charles. And I am good. You know.
Bishop, what about you? Valentine's Day.
What do pastors do for Valentine's Day?
I know I'm gonna be taking my wife out, but I'm gonna turn around and say, "Honey, you take me out." So
reverse it.
I'm probably gonna reverse it so she can take care of her honey bun. But I'm gonna take care of that.
But here's the thing, Bishop. It's not even really about what we want. What do women want, Demanda? You got on this red, this edge rag. What do y'all want? Because that's what we trying to figure out.
Well, I'll just say for me, you know, some jewelry is always good.
Oh, so you high class.
I'm high class.
Get your wallet out. Get your wallet out.
Bring out all the dollars because I need them.
Do everybody want? Are you just speaking for you, or you speaking as a whole? Just you? Okay.
I'm just speaking for me. You know, because some women like flowers, some like perfume. You know, some want to go out to eat. I'm just saying for me, bring out the diamonds. You know, that's my birthstone. So just bring the diamonds and you good. You good with the diamonds. Yeah, work that out. You know, over at the 36th Street North Event Center, we're having the first annual Nubian Sweetheart Dinner and Dance.
You better get out of here. What's going on with
you
that?
You better ask somebody. So this is being sponsored by the Black Wall Street? No.
Black Wall Street Market.
Thank you, Black Wall Street Market. That's right. And the money that they're raising for this event is going to go towards teaching the children in the community how to grow fresh vegetables. Okay, so it's coming up Friday, the 14th at 8 o'clock. Again at the 36th Street North Event Center. Keeping It Real Band is going to be
I'm going just for Kevin Keys. I'm going I'm going over there to see Keys get that bass guitar and lay on the floor. Kevin, I'll be there, man. Sign me up. Get me my ticket now.
Right. The tickets are $15 in advance for singles, $20 for couples, and the tables are $120 in advance. Now, if you come to the door, you're going to pay $25 no matter who you are per ticket, okay? So you can get tickets at Eventbrite, or you can call Miss Billy Parker. Her number is 918-770-6020. Okay? Again, that's Miss Billy Parker, 918-770-6020. So we're also going to talk about coming up events. We've got a couple of events that are coming up really soon. First one is Food on the Move. It's going to be happening February 18th at Edgerac. Food on the Move at Edgerac.
Yeah. But first, I just want to ask you about this. Hold on now. So what you saying, because you were so excited about the Keeping It Real band and this event going on.
No, you were excited about Keeping It Real.
I was excited, but you seem excited. So if somebody do that, do they have to still go to the jewelry store and buy something real expensive, or?
Yes, I want the I gotta bling when I'm at the show. You see what I'm saying? So I gotta have the diamonds, and then my little outfit, and then I got my tickets to go to the show.
I was trying to save your boyfriend some money. So go on to the store, go on to the mall. Okay. Whatever. Here we go. Food on the Move is happening February the 18th at Edgerec, 5 to 7 p.m. A partnership we've been having for 5 years with none other than Taylor Hanson with the Hanson brothers.
Yeah, Taylor Hanson with the Hanson brothers. We're going to be giving out fresh produce to the community. This is going to be the first one for 2020.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and so
yes.
we'll have the schedule for the entire year. Once a month, this event will be happening. So, come on over to Edgerec at 5424 North Madison Avenue. It's going to be Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 18th, from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m.
So what are they going to do? They're just going to be giving away chips, snacks? I mean, what is this? How is this going to look? What is it?
No, we're going to eat. We're going to have fresh produce.
Okay.
We're going to have DJ Ed on the ones and twos,
Oh,
so
okay,
we're going to have
party.
music. We're going to be
Right.
partying, get that little dance in. But we're going to also have the OSU Extension Office. They're usually there. We all, the library is there. It's just about partnership. It's about partnership. So, yeah.
And what I love about it is the food truck. This is a pay-as-you-can event. So what that means, you come and register. And if you have $1, if you don't have no money, then you register. You get 2 tickets. 1 ticket, you go to the food truck, and the meals are phenomenal. So you get a meal for your entire family. And then with the other tickets, you're able to come in and get fresh produce. So it's more like a festive atmosphere. It's fun.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just showing love to the community, and that's what Edgerec kind of was designed for. You know what I mean? To fill those gaps. The end of the month. If your money is short, we can find a way to work that out. So, Bishop, Food on the Move.
What you think about that?
What you think about that?
Man, I'm telling you, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Food on the move, helping people, families, man, for the cost that they're able to get all of this fresh produce and all of that. I had the opportunity to go out there and, man, I saw so much that really blessed me just to see. And like I said, it's all about helping our community, and that gives me joy every time I'm out there.
Yeah. So, and sometimes what we'll have, so we need to just pay, we'll be putting out notices about Food on the Move, but sometimes Tulsa Tech barbers are there doing free haircuts, and all of that. So one last thing that's happening is we are now doing registration over at Edgerec for spring break camp.
Oh man, what are you gonna do with those kids here in about a month?
Because you don't want them at home eating up all your food for the whole week. That's what you don't want to do. So send them on over to Edgerec. We'll give them some activities to do. We'll take them to the aquarium. We're going to do all kinds of stuff with them. So registration starts, it already started actually.
Right.
And it's now through the February 29th. It's $50 for the week. Starting May 1st, if you haven't signed them up, then it's going to be $60.
So what is that? That's an early bird special?
That's an early bird special, yeah.
So when you got to slow down for an early bird special, how does that go? Slow down now, because
Okay.
I'm an early bird. So talk about
No,
that part.
he's not
I know.
an
I
early
want
bird.
to slow down on that. So from what day to what day can I get it cheaper?
So from right now until February 29th, you can get, it's $50 for the week. Okay?
Right.
March 1st, March 1st,
Right.
it's going to go up to $60 for the week.
Okay. Do you have to have is it like a early bird coupon? Is it a coupon I bring, or it's
No.
just make a phone call?
No, as long as it's not the 29th, then we got you.
Well, what's
We're
the
gonna
number?
hook you up.
Who do I
So
call?
you call Edgerec 918-430-3947. And we'll tell you when you can come over to fill out your applications and all of that stuff, or your registration forms, and get everything situated.
Yeah, and another thing with this spring break camp, we also provide professional training to all of our staff and all of our volunteers. So your kids are definitely going to be in good hands. So don't worry about them. When you drop them off, we're going to feed them. We're going to take care of them. It's going to be a safe environment. Now, I'm loving me some Bishop Bevan Cooper, Senior Pastor of World One for Christ Family Life Ministries, and I don't want you to get out here without them giving us or the community updates on what you got going on. What you got going on that you want to say last before we wrap this show up?
Let me just say real quickly, I'm very excited about everything that's happening in our community through World One. I want to make sure that everyone knows that beginning March 1st, the first Sunday in March,
Yes.
we're going to be launching our Sunday morning radio broadcast.
Good job, Bishop. Yes.
An hour of power.
All right. I love it.
Designed to get you up early morning, 8:30. Hear a good word of encouragement for Sunday morning. It's going to be powerful. You don't want to miss it. And so I hope you come and get up in the morning and listen to the Sunday morning broadcast. It's going to be a tremendous blessing to you.
So that means I still got to be at church, though.
Still got to be in church now.
Okay, I got you. I just want to ask, somebody think they'll listen to you in the morning, they don't have to come to church.
Yeah, our
So
service starts at 10. Our radio show will be on 8:30 to 9:30, but it's going to be word centered and spirit controlled. So it's going to be
all right.
definitely going to be a great blessing to the hearer. So we hope that you'll get up on Sunday morning 8:30 and start your day with Our Power with Bishop Melvin Cooper.
Right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
Yes.
Y'all better tune in. Damali, this was our first show.
I was
How
so
you
excited.
feeling?
It went
what you
well.
thinking?
It went well. Yeah, I'm real excited about how it all turned out. Yeah, so.
Bishop, you was in here with us. You Damali's bishop. You my bishop. You hung out with us for this first album. We greatly appreciate that because we know you very, very busy. So of course we know you got your show coming up. You talked a little bit about your church. Is it anything last year you just like to say to the community? It's a lot you got going on. Is it anything?
Hey, we just want the community to know about all the different things that we offer in the community. Go by 36th Street Event Center. Check it out. And you will be blessed. Get your family out. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's right here in your backyard. EduRec, amen, Youth and Family Fund Center. It'll be a blessing to you. People that are coming out of prison, if you know those, they can go to our Feeding Back In. And we not only have those things, but we got a lot more coming up. So we're excited about it.
So everybody, you can find us on social media, Fitting Back In Tulsa, EduRec Tulsa, or the 36th Street North Event Center, and World One Development. So you can inbox us there. And if you want to make donations, we have donation buttons on all of our social media platforms. And Charles, you want to close us out?
You know what? This has been awesome, and so I just got to give a big shout out to none other than Bobby Eaton.
Yes,
my friend, doing big things in this community, giving our community a voice. And I think it's awesome to have this kind of platform. So one, I just want to say always support Bobby Eaton. You know, it's a lot of people probably want to come in and get on the radio, and that's great, but support them because we understand from doing different community projects, this stuff costs. It's all, you see what Bishop said. It was a myth that the bishop had $1 million in his trunk.
There's no money
Every
back.
time I look in his trunk,
No
all I
money
see,
back.
I just see a spare tire in his trunk. I never see the bag. So the bishop don't got the bag. So I'm sure if Bobby is doing this, he don't have the bag either. So I'm just saying, when you see people out doing things in the community, don't take it for granted.
Yes.
Sow into what they're doing because they're sowing into us and we appreciate it. So what I'll say now is this has been World One Development, news you can use with Charles Harper and Damali Wilson. We'll be back next week on Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program being solely to the host and their guests and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other group or individual. This is World One Development's news you can use.
KBOB, the home of
You worked it out, Bobby.
That was fantastic. Give me some. That was great. Awesome. I love it. Y'all worked that one out. Oh, yeah, sweetie. Hey, that was really good. Oh, that was good. That was so good. That was good, Bishop. That was good, dog. That was good. That was good. Yeah, man.
Charles, you let me know, call me.
I'm gonna call you. It ain't gonna take no. You can do a whole man. Because it's too simple.
Yeah,
It's the word. So you gonna talk a lot. There ain't gonna be a bunch of commercials. Matter of fact, we can run the commercials on this. You can talk a whole person. Y'all know you can. You know, and if you need to, go to break or something.
I'll be just between what I'm doing.
I mean, you know, I like the Bible. I read the Bible. Yeah, when you have a guest, that would be good. Y'all kind of coming on great. This is gonna be great. Coming right. Good food. They're gonna be good.
No, not like that. You gotta get you coming. And